What's up, everybody? Hello, it's me, the Vanilla Godzilla. It's Cups. Today's that day, and I'm that dude. Happy Friday, my friends. This is Friday. It's Friday, May 27th, getting close to the end of the month here. Hello, my friends. We are just about 33 days out, a little over 5 weeks, a little under 5 weeks, 5 weeks away from Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. Pretty good, pretty good. But now that Capcom has been so generous as to reveal all the weapons to us, we haven't seen all the changes, but they have revealed all the weapons and some of the changes for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, a peep at the new Soakbind skills and all that stuff. So what we're going to do today, just as like a little bit of a refresher, we're going to go through and watch all of them, watch all the weapon reveals, and then we're going to go ahead and say, we're going to put them into a tier list. Okay? We're going to put them into a tier list of which ones are the most hype, and which ones are the least hype, which ones are People Pog, and which ones are Resident Sleeper. To put it into Twitch loser terminology. That's you, the viewer. Check in on your Lance mains, the soy Pog face. I'll have to get. I'll give you a couple possibilities, Salmiak, and then you just hook me up with which one is the shittiest. Now I say that. I say that I'm not going to be swayed by the audience, but if you guys give me like compelling arguments, then maybe I will. Okay, so Bow is the first one here. So we talked about Bow a little bit, and I think that Bow looks really impressive. I think it's going to be insanely strong. Like, if you knock a monster down with Bow and you put both installs and then you go into an area, like, you're going to do so much damage. But was I wowed by it? Not really. The first time I saw aerial aim, I thought that was awesome. I was still really excited to see it and interested. I know exactly what these two things do, and I wasn't, like, wowed by them. I was mainly wowed, like, hey, Bow's going to be pretty stupid still. So I'm going to go ahead and put Bow, like, maybe down in the C tier. Because I wasn't disappointed in it, but I wasn't as impressed as I was initially whenever they showed it in Rise. So, yeah, I don't know if you guys can agree with me on that one. Okay, Charge Blade. Charge Blade I'm kind of cautiously optimistic about. I'm going to go ahead and put Charge Blade in B. I know a lot of people, I was a main Charge Blade player in World, and I'd say maybe close to a main. And Iceborne, I kind of split my duty between Charge Blade and Insect Glaive. But I think for people that don't have the trained Charge Blade eye, I think that they think that this is really lame. But the new guard point, giving you some extra rock steady and an easier way to go into Savage Axe. And I think the firing pin has a ton of potential. Like, you're attaching a file to the monster's head, and if it's good elemental damage, then it makes Savage Axe elemental really, really good. And even if it's okay for impact, you can still like get more KOs on the head with Savage Axe. So SAD options have the Trash Hopper, where you jump up in the air and you come down with the Axe Hopper / Trash Hopper. They already gave us multiple options for SAD, so I think multiple options for a Savage Axe is also pretty cool. So I was semi-wowed. I'm cautiously optimistic for Charge Blade. Okay, Dual Blades. Okay, we just watched Dual Blades a minute ago, but the new like drill move and the fact that they have like 2 wire bugs and they like pull themselves up and they do like the drill from GU is really sick. The other one is kind of just like a basic ground combo, not really all that wowing. I kind of like the sidestep and like additional mobility options that it might present. But I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm going to give Dual Blades an A. I don't know if you guys disagree with me or agree with me all that much, but it had some definite wow factor. And Dual Blades, as of late, has been a pretty good elemental weapon. So if the new moves have like good elemental motion values, the drill, it could be really sick. It could be really sick. So especially with all the new flight things, like Demon Flight kicking you up in the air and you do a couple attacks and then it's going to be sick. It's going to look real good. Greatsword. I think Greatsword I'm going to put into S. Because the new counterattack looks awesome. I love it. And I love combo Greatsword because we've always had big, slow charging, positional based stuff. And I know people are getting all doom and gloom about losing the identity of Greatsword, but you can still play that way. You can still play, draw, charge, crit slash to the head. And also, if, we keep talking about elemental motion values, if this move, like the combo Greatsword, has good elemental motion values, it's going to be tight. It's going to be so sick. Yeah, getting the frontier moves. And also the player that they've put in all these. I don't know who this guy is or gal, but they're incredible. Great skill player that properly show off the possibilities of all these things. And man, the sequence where they're charging, they shoulder on the Zenogre. They shoulder and then Zinogre's coming up for the paw swipes, and then does the new counter attack out of the first paw swipe, and then changes and goes to Rage Slash, and then takes the hit of the second paw swipe, and then just unloads Rage Slash. That shit was beautiful. Beautiful. Excellently done. Amazing. You don't have to have fun with this if you don't want. Yeah, exactly. The boomers in the audience. So far, so good. Sound off in the chat. But I think Greatsword is a pretty easy S in my book. I think I actually said wow out loud a few times. Although I did say wow out loud a few times for Bow. This is a heavily biased list. I think I said wow a few times out loud for Bow, but that was in a completely different connotation. Gunlance. Okay, Gunlance has the Bullet Barrage, which is awesome. And then it's got the new install, which you're not really quite sure. Like I said, I'm a little bit hesitant. I think it's going to be a lot of wait. You get the install that gives you a couple extra hits on your slaps. I'm really scared that it's just going to be slapping until you're waiting for Bullet Barrage to come through. And then you just blast it and you wait another 5 minutes. So you have to wait like 2 minutes for you to have fun every once in a while. So, but it did make me say wow, get me really excited. I think I'll put Gunlance maybe in high B or low A. I think I'll put Gunlance here. These are going to be in order, by the way, because there's only 14, so it should be pretty easy to order them up. So we're just got to go off of gut feeling right now. I don't know all the motion values and all the stuff that they're going to be changing, but just off of these trailers, I'm just showing about how excited I am. So Gunlance, I'm going to put up there. Okay, Hammer. Gonna have to scroll down for this one. I'm gonna have to put down here in D. Okay, because I was already pretty high on Hammer for Rise, and the new stuff kind of made me less excited for Hammer. Like, I had my opinion about Hammer, and it was pretty high, and then the new stuff, I was like, eh. It made me like Hammer less because of the new stuff. The Hammer spin is not very cool. And it's like I explained earlier that we're not, like, it was okay for a Hunting Horn to have a spin because a Hunting Horn isn't like a real, you're not really going to smack somebody to death with some bagpipes, and you spinning it in place isn't really going to work. But it's like a magical item that we don't really understand how it works, so you can get away with goofy stuff like that. But everybody on God's Green Earth knows how a hammer works, and if you're down on the ground and I take the hammer and I spin it on your face, that's not doing anything. So it doesn't make me think, wow, that's really impactful and really strong and all that stuff. We know how a hammer works in space, so not excited for either of those. And there's also like a new spin. Here, lowest one right now. Heavy bowgun with the ring that you put out, and you put you put your shots through, and the more time it hits, the more times it does damage, and it kind of creates like a limited thing. And then there's also the siege mode, so those in conjunction could be really, really cool. I think heavy bowgun's still going to be wildly broken just because elemental pierce is already very, very strong, and normal pierce as well. Okay, but heavy bowgun, I think I'm going to put heavy bowgun. Do I put it in C or low B? I think I'm going to put heavy bowgun in lower B territory here. I wasn't as intrigued about it as Charge Blade, but I saw the possibilities that it has, and also the gameplay in this one is really good as well. Okay, Hunting Horn, better than Hammer? Hang on, gotta scroll down. Hunting Horn, I'm going to put down here in D tier as well, because like I said, I was already really high on Hunting Horn. The problem is like on a lot of these, they led off with cooler things. So Rise got the cooler share of Wirebug moves that we know of course. Can only say so many times. But the Earthshaker, if they just revealed Earthshaker now, I'd be super hyped on it. But we already have Earthshaker, and we already have Slide Beat. So what we have now is a little jump back that gives you a little buff, and it hits a couple extra times. And the other thing, the little sidestep combo. Just what we already have is way more interesting than the things that they showed us. So I don't know how good it's going to be or whatever, but I just was not very excited for Hunting Horn. Although the clips that they got for this as well from this good player I keep talking about were awesome, because they're insane for trying to dunk Tigrex out of a jump like that. That person's insane. So kudos to them. Okay, Insect Glaive. This is going to be pretty biased for me because I'm a main of Insect Glaive. So I might have to scale it back a little bit. I want to say Insect Glaive is an S for me, because I think that the Bugzooka is awesome, and I think being able to gather extracts in the air is really sick. So I think it's going to be kind of a similar argument for, like I was talking about, people that don't really know what they're looking at for Charge Blade. They're not like Charge Blade main, so they don't know the implications of what the Savage X thing might do. I think Insect Glaive mains are extremely excited about this, of having like a really hard ground-based nuke that closes the gap for you, and then you can gather extracts in the air. So if you run out of extracts in the air, you can gather more and then hit with the descending thrust for a shit ton of damage, or whatever it's called. Wyvern dive or whatever. I'm going to say Insect Glaive is an S for me, but not as awe-inspiring as Greatsword. Easy S, even unbiased. It's at least an A. I don't think I was as wowed as Greatsword, but the Insect Glaive stuff looks so sick, especially if the things that we heard, the rumors that it's the Bugzooka is going to use all your extracts. And then in the clip, we actually saw them gathering extracts in the air with the new move as well. So we saw them gather white and red. You got the buffs and the orange whenever they landed. So we know that one's really sick. And it's a gap closer. So imagine Bugzooka, like you're fighting a Rathalos and you throw the bug and it KOs the monster and gets dunked. And then you just close the gap with the magnet spike thing and then you immediately like Wyvern dive on them. That is going to be so sick. I cannot wait. It's going to be so good. Yeah, and the synergy and what like the kit that already exists, right? So we get the Wyvern dive, like the whole combo just works really, really well, right? So Insect Glaive, very high for me, very, very excited for it. And already what we know about assist type bugs. So if you use Carnage Beetle or another impact one and you throw the bug and you stun that thing out of the air because you hit it in the head on like a move that you aimed, that's going to be so sick and so rewarding. Very excited. Okay, Lance. Now, Lance is the one that people are like, hey, you need to check in on your Lance friend because they're not doing too well. But it's because the shield dash was pretty lame. The shield dash with the KO is pretty lame. But the descending thrust thing I thought was kind of cool. They basically just took the thing that Insect Glaive already has. But if you think about what it already has, about what Lance already has, so you could do like Anchorage, get the red buff, and then like descending thrust the monster out of it. Like that could be pretty cool. You got to think about in conjunction of whatever everything else it has. So, but is it going to be as strong as Spiral Thrust? Probably not. And so you're probably going to still be better off just zipping around with Spiral Thrust. But hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully Anchor Rage and all that stuff is better. So Lance, I think I'm going to put in low C. I'm not as doomer about it as everybody else about how Lance is ruined and all that stuff. I think it's still kind of a cool touch. But I don't know why they keep giving guard stuff to Lance and not to Gunlance. Like, you know? Like, there's only so many things. We now have, like, 4 things to do with their shield, and we now have, like, 27 things to do with our Lance, like, on parries and counters and gap closers. And there's the run, and then there's the other run, and then there's the jumping run, and then there's, like, now there's a jumping dive. There's too much stuff going on with Lance, I feel like. They could be afraid of giving Lance too much damage. I don't know why they're afraid of that. It's been a long time since they've had that. They just took Spiral Thrust and rotated. What if we took it and turned it on its side? So Lance, not as low on it as these. Light Bowgun, I think I'm going to put up into A. Higher than Gunlance, but below Dual Blades. Because I like the, hey, what's up, Torque? But Light Bowgun with the reduced critical range distance is excellent because it looked like a 20% damage buff or so. Well, it was 87 and went up to 113, and I don't, could be maybe different the closer you get or whatever. So pretty substantial jump in damage. And it also gave it the counterattack. So they're incentivizing you to get up close and personal with the monster's head. And if it attacks you or comes after you, you can use your counterattack thing to get away. They want you to get up close in the monster's face. I was much more excited for Light Bowgun, but that could be just like personal preference. But I'm going to put Light Bowgun up there, I think. Cool options for it, because, if you're using like spread and you're up in that monster's face and you run out of ammo and you're screwed and you use your counterattack to jump back, it's going to be pretty sick. It's going to feel real nice. Really interactive weapon. Good aerial mobility options as well, with being able to put the mine up in the air and all that. So Light Bowgun falls into A with me. I don't know about you guys. So far, I think we've all kind of agreed in some capacity on these. But I'll put an A higher than Gunlance, but lower than Dual Blade. We're getting into the depths here, I guess I'll say. Longsword. Now, I'm not a big fan of Longsword. This is probably my least favorite weapon in Monster Hunter. The new damage circle thing that gives you multiple hits on the same thing seems ridiculously strong. I'm kind of in the same boat as I was with Bow, where I was saying, wow, this is really dumb. Wow, this is really dumb. Because it's like, I don't feel like Longsword really needs any more help than what it already has. So giving it more damage on down monsters and EI slash and EI counter and whatever else that this thing leads to. Like, it was a pretty huge circle. So if you get like a KO or like an Apex head topple, or like, you're going to be doing so much damage. It is crazy. Oh yeah, the charge move. Yeah, the charge move is sick. Yeah, especially if you can increase the speed of that with focus, like focus 3. That's going to be pretty sick. That's like the Valor Sheath thing. Yeah, that one looks really cool. Yeah, it looks really cool. Especially, like I said, if you can slap focus on that bad boy. I don't know if I want to give it... I think I'll give it an S below Insect Glaive. I think that's pretty fair. Because I did say wow, and it looks like it's got a ton of opportunity. And, you know, Elemental, like we keep bringing up, if Elemental works pretty well inside the circle, it can make Longsword pretty cool. If it's not just like a raw Unga Bunga weapon so much anymore. It auto counters as well. Yeah, because like Jono was explaining it, so like if you get hit during it, you automatically dodge out of it, but it uses up a bug. But if you don't get hit during it, then you don't use a bug. Is that right? Am I remembering that right? Use a level of Spirit. Okay, got it. Okay. Sounds more like Iceborne. Okay, all right. And then with kind of Valor tossed in there. Makes sense. Okay, now we're getting to the last two here. Switch Axe. Switch Axe, I think, was the best one. There's a little bit of spoilers for the last one, but I think Switch Axe was the coolest one that we saw. And I don't know, could be biased a bit, but that new counterattack looks incredible. And we've been begging on this channel. We've been begging for a counter or some sort of parry or something like that for for Switch Axe to kind of stand its ground a little bit during transform. And if we are led to believe correctly that if you hit the counter, it fully amps your weapon, that's incredible. And that's really cool. And it's a parry that, like, it's a counterattack, I guess I should say. It's a counter, so you get benefited for knowing the monster's tells and standing your ground and making a tough play instead of just getting out of the way and wire falling or whatever else. And then also the new ground combo that they gave it looks incredible as well. It's like really long animation. So it's kind of more of a thing for a huge opening or if the monster's down on the ground or whatever. And also the gameplay in this one is crazy. This, you know, the player was kicking ass. If it fully amps, nobody will... maybe like a huge charge. Yeah, but if it fully charges, Power File is going to be insane. I'm fine with Power File. Hey, I like the Elemental. But Switch Axe for me, all the way at the top. And the fact, the synergy that it gives with everything. You know, you hit the counterattack and you might like KO a monster with it and you can just go straight into the new thing. And then you can also like zero-sum discharge into Soaring Wyvern, like out of it, while fully amped, that you got from just straight up. Like it, Switch Axe has so much synergy within itself. Everything leads into everything else in a really cool way. So, I don't know. Switch Axe looks absolutely insane. Can't wait. And then Sword and Shield. So what did Sword and Shield get? I guess that kind of shows what I think about it. We just watched it. But Sword and Shield got oils. Oils giving it more flinch and part break, which I don't think Sword and Shield really needed. I guess it's okay for cutting tails off and stuff, but you're usually not standing there as a Sword and Shield player anyway. And then what's the other thing that it got? Cut off all those tails you can't reach. Hang on, I gotta do a quick little touch up. Oh yeah, the Twin Blade attack. That's not a new combo. It's a return of an old combo. Very, very underwhelming. I have to go back to my Hunting Horn argument, where everything a Sword and Shield has is much cooler. The little spinneroonie, that's pretty cool. Like, if I didn't know that it sucked, if I just saw it, I would think that it's cool. And Metsurigeki, what I know about it is that it's insane. It's like the best wire bug move in the whole game. So the two new things are substantially less interesting than what it already has. So it's got to go down here. Love to Mets, baby. Now, where does it go in here is what I need to know. I think it's better than both of these, but not by much. Is it better than Hunting Horn? Maybe here? And, like, I've played Monster Hunter since 3U. Been 3U, 4U, GU, World Iceborne. Like, I do not care about oils. I think oils is a really clunky mechanic, and I don't get all excited about it. It could be cool, I guess, but... So anyway, Sword and Shield down here. I think it's just like, old thing good, Old thing good. Oh my gosh. Ah! So oils, and that's a weapon balance thing, right? People like Chaos Oil because of what it gave you, not because of, ooh, I'm really excited to slather oil on my thing. It's just like, well, yeah, because my weapon was poorly balanced, so they made something that made it more balanced, which I'm not really too crazy about it. But here's the list, and it is the objective truth. And these are in order of my excitement and what I think will be added from the weapon reveals. So we got, ta-da! What do you guys think? Huh? It's a good list. It's like kind of spread out. I was kind of scared that I was going to have too many up in like S and A. What changes would you guys make? But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Where would you move things? There we go. Like, comment, subscribe. Insect Glaive is going to flow. Oh! It's going to be so nice, man. I can't wait to use a slow-ass bug and knock the shit out of monsters out of the air.